Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to continue working on our project that would be this one. So we were working on creating this receipt program, right? And we were coding that, and in the last video we tried to create everything using all the basics we learned, such as variables, how to format the string, and especially how do we arrange everything like this in the form of like data table where it is rows and columns, they are properly spaced, right? And I gave you the challenge at the end that let's enhance the program. Like we would like to enhance the program, we want to work on the program, refactor it and make it more efficient, more readable, and more something that we can rely for further needs. Now, uh, today I'm going to cover these agenda, and I wanna build upon that because these are the concepts that I learned today after coming from my job, and I really want to work on that only because I don't want to jump just because I think that would be the appropriate. I learned some concept, I'm gonna work on that, and these are the agenda. First agenda is that since we had a hard time formatting this string, right? These string, and we are struggling with this alignment. So I'm going to work on that, and then I'm going to work on. Okay, let's first work on that string formatting, and then we'll move ahead with other agenda. So let's run this. Mm, let's run it again. Okay, so we see here is that this alignment is happening here, right? This one, this one, this one. First, let's understand what is alignment, right? How do we really work with alignment? So I'm gonna create another rough.py. Okay, so suppose um, I have a value hello and I want to format it. So I'll say formatted version is um, let's call it right aligned. So I will say I know like how to align it. So we use inverted comma and then we use curly braces, that is also called placeholder, and then we format it. In the format we just use value. So this value will be coming over here, and I'm gonna add this one so that we can understand and see the alignment too. And finally, I'm gonna print this right aligned. Let's see what does it show. Okay, so you see this is our 50 stars, and then hello is at the left end, right? Because we did not put any number of spaces. So for example, if I put a tab space, then you will see this hello will go one tab to the right side. There you go. See, the hello is now here. But we don't want to use the tab. We want to use the numbers. So I'll say for the right alignment, if we go 20, so it should be like 20 spaces over here. Okay, let's do it. You see, this is 20 spaces, right? This is 20 spaces. Similarly, if I want to do the left alignment, so I'll say left, and it should be this one. Let's see how left alignment looks. Okay, so left alignment seems like there is no change, but actually what it is doing is that if there is another word after hello, okay, then it is gonna be at a distance of 20 characters. So how would I showcase that? So suppose this is our left aligned value, and then I'm gonna mention something like, I'll say word, okay, and you will see that hello, and then there are a space of 20 and then words. So that gap, hello and words. There you go. See? So this spacing is coming because we use this formatting. So for the hello word, we start hitting space 20 times. And since it is left aligned, it is appearing here. Perfect. How about we wanna print hello and words. We wanna print these two things. Let's remove everything and we want to print hello world. What will happen is that they come just next to each other. Okay, I'll clear the terminal, clear. Okay, so they appear just next to each other. Now let's apply formatting. To apply the formatting, I'll use the same concept. So instead of this hello, I'll put the curly braces and again curly braces. Okay, but let's keep them together. Does it make difference? No, it doesn't make difference. This curly braces is for hello, this curly braces is for words. So instead of writing them with a comma, because what does print do? It concate both word if I use comma, right? If I wanna showcase it again, let's. So if I say print hello and I put comma and then say oh, and if I print this, see hello, oh, it is next to each other. And if I do this, will it be same? Definitely. It's again same thing. It's just this curly braces will be a placeholder for these two words. So that's why I'm doing this manner. So I'm going to remove this. And now considering this whole string as one, suppose string, like considering this whole two curly braces in one inverted comma as one string, and then I'm gonna put format. So format, okay, and I wanna format. So the first word would be say name, and the second word would be price. So what it will do is that this name will come here and this price will come here. So this is another way of formatting. See name, price. They are next to each other. Now I want the name to be at a distance of 20 characters. Okay. So let's see what will happen. This means like this 20 means is that there would be a 20 spaces and the name will be written. There you go. See, this is 20 spaces and the name was written and then next to it is price. Make sense? So if I want to have 10 spaces before price again, so I'll go this, this, and this. So now what would be the result? We already have 20 spaces here, right? Before name. Now I will have the 10 spaces before price. So here 10 spaces would be added. Let's run it. There you go. See, these are 10 spaces. If I want to have 20, see, now they are more apart. So in this way, we can basically format it. And now imagine this whole thing is 50. So we can calculate and space them properly. So I would say this, suppose uh, this name, this name start with a tab. Okay, so there is a space of one tab, and then after name, what I want is that this way. So first I want the tab, so one tab, and then I want name. Then I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like this. Suppose 20. Okay, suppose 20. And then, so 20, okay, 20 spaces. And then after this, I want in front of the price 10 spaces, suppose. So 10, and then price would be written. How would we do that? Let's do. So print, then tab, and then we want after name, we want 20 spaces. Since it is after name, so we'll say this one, right? Because after is that this alignment will put spaces after name, okay? And then we want before price. So before price means this one. And how much do we want? Suppose we want 10, okay? And then format, name, price. Let's see how does it look. See this, let me clear that, and let me print here something to make, let's see, this one 50 times, so that would be a difference. There you go. See, the first one is name price, and the second one is like first there is a tab space of like a one tab space, and then there are 20 character space over here, and then for the price 10 space over here. So they are in total spaced with 30 character, right? 20 from here and 10 from here. So that's how we can play with the spacing. If we have understood that, then how about making this correct now? So the product name, books, computer, and monitors should be in the front like this way. So what I'm gonna do is that product name, I'll say do for tab, okay, and I'll remove this for now. I'll remove this as well. Okay, let's go one step at a time. So product name is here and product price is here. Okay, and instead of doing with a comma, let's go with this manner. Like this one is for product price, product name, and this one is for product price, and then format, and I will say product name, and then comma, product price. Okay, and here I want a space of one tab. Let's see now how does it look. So now we have a space of one tab, and then next to it is product price written. Okay, I want spacing between these two, so I can do one thing. I can use the product name and then hit 10 spaces after that. So hitting 10 spaces after that is this one. Did it happen? Did I go wrong? Nope. And let's add 10 spaces before price. Hmm. Let's increase number. Yeah. Now it is more visible. Like that character space was not visible enough. Okay. Now it looks good. So we are going to apply the same formatting for all of them as well. Okay, let's do it. So I'll remove all of it. Print without thinking much. Let's copy this. Okay, and here instead of P1 product name, it would be P1 name. Simple as that. And it would be P1 price. Let's see if it. There you go. See, books is in the left, the way we wanted, right? And since this is a price, right? It's a number, and we want here a dollar sign with a space. Let's see. Amazing. It looks amazing. Now I'll copy and paste for other entries. So the first one was P2 name, then another one is P2 price. Similarly here, P3, P3. Okay, let's follow up. There you go. We got this. Okay, we don't want the spacing. Understood. So I'll remove the spacing. Let's check out. Hmm. Still spacing is coming in. Why so? Hmm. Okay, we will look into it. The next one is total. For the total, I would say do the same thing. Go for the print, and this one is placeholder for total written, and this one is for the total amount, and there is a tab space, and then it would be format. This one is called total, and this would be total variable. And here I want the same thing, 20, and here I want 10 space in the front, and here I want the dollar sign. And since it is way too many decimal points, right? Like way too many digits after decimal. So I'm gonna reduce that to 2 only. So I'll use 2F, that round up to only 2 digits after decimal. And there you go. It looks amazing. So we can do the same thing for this one as well, but it looks good to me. So I'm gonna skip that. So yeah, our first agenda is done where we worked on string alignment. Okay. Now next agenda is that if we see, we have to write this these entries. See, this entry this entry is like we are pushing and writing everything. Um, we can arrange this data in more meaningful manner that will have more advantage, and there it comes the concept of data structure. In the data structure, right, we would like to arrange our data in usable format, right? And there are some popular data structure types that are list, tuple, and dictionary. So since there is one of the key advantage of dictionaries that whenever you want to look at a word and their meaning in the dictionary, so you are looking at two things, like first the word, so you will search for the word, and once you go into the word you will see the associated meaning of that word. So that's a two thing. One would be called key and the another would be called a value. So it's a key value pair, right? So if you say coordinates, right, if you have read in the uh, math, there is a coordinate, so it would be x and y. If we are in xy plane, so it would be x and y, and the point would be x, y. So in dictionary, what we will do is that we will arrange the key, like the data, in the form of key and value. So here we will say that name would be key and price would be value attached to it, right? And to write the dictionary, how do you create the dictionary? Create dictionary. So I will say, suppose my dictionary. My dictionary, it always start with curly braces, okay? And suppose the first key is key one, okay? And it is associated with this value using colon. So we will use colon, say it is value 1. So this key value pair is one item. If you want to add another item, it would be like this: key 2, and value associated with it is value 2. So my dictionary has two items, right? My dictionary has two items. So in this way, we create a dictionary. We can have more key value pair, right? So suppose right now we have only two items. If I want to print only key and if I want to print only values, how would we do that? There comes the concept of loop, in which we would be learning, we will use for loop. So what for loop does basically, if there is a sequence, for example, there is a sequence here, this is one item, this is another item, okay, and we want to access the value of either key or value from this item, then we want to access the value of this item, and we will keep running through those items until and unless our purpose is served. In other words, since this is a dictionary, right? Suppose there is a list. There is another concept in data structure that is called list. So suppose there is a list variable, and always list is defined using this bracket, square bracket, right? We also call it array. So say 1, 2, 3. So these are numbers, or we can say I have a list of fruits. So I'll say fruits, right? That would be apple, banana, mango, right? So what is happening is that this is creating a sequence. right? This is creating a sequence, and in that sequence, this is our apple is our first value, banana is our second value, mango is our third value or third item. And the syntax of for loop is that for item is the variable that will store the current value. So for item in sequence, right? So for item in sequence, so our sequence is true, okay? And then we will use colon, okay, to begin the code. And here we will write down code statement, whatever we want to do with that. For example, I want to print item. What do you think? What would be the item? First, as I told you, for will keep running through the list until the whole list is exhausted. So it will run till how many times? Till 3 times, because there are 3 items over here: apple, banana, and mango. Okay, so let's print item, and there you go. See, first, what will happen is that item will store value apple, so apple is printed. Next time, what will happen? It will go to the next one, and then item will store the value banana, that on the second place. So that banana will come here and that would be printed. So banana is here. Third time, the item will store the value of the third item, and that would be coming here, and then mango. We'll go deep into its whole explanation, but for now, you need to know that this is how for loop works. We'll go into like this is definitely indices and all those things. I don't want to go into that right now. So we know like for loop works in this way. But this is for list. What about dictionary? Okay, so think like this. This is one item. This is second item, right? So if I wanna run for loop in dictionary, so for item, I'll say this time say X. I'll X X. Now here I'll say run into my dictionary, but the dictionary has two things: key and value. Either I can run into the value or either I can run into the key. So if I want to run into the key, then I'll say keys. Okay, this way. And then I'll say print X. So the X will store all the keys. And you will see that this X will show first key 1 and then key 2. There you go. See, key 1, key 2. Okay. Similarly, if I want to just print value, so I'll say, oops, for X in my dict values, and I want to print X. So now you will see value 1 and value 2 is printed. So that's how we access key values, and that's how we access that's how we access keys from the dictionary, and that's how we access value from the dictionary using the for loop. But what if we want say this one, why? What if we want to apply the for loop both using key and value? So I'll say for key value in my dict. This time we'll say items. Remember I told you this whole one pair is called items. So it's gonna run on item, and I'll say print key is, I'll say this one is the key for here value. There you go. Key 1 is the key for value 1. Key 2 is the key for value 2. So that's how we can access both key and value. And to iterate, we have to use items function. Okay, if it makes sense. Can we know how many values are there or how many keys are there? We'll think about it. Okay, so let's arrange this data in the form of dictionary. How would we do that? Let's clear this first. Don't clear. Oh, let's clear. So let's call the product create dictionary of products, and I'll call the variable as product. And to define the dictionary, we use curly braces. The first is books, and that has a price. So the price is suppose 49.95. Okay, and then the next item would be computer, and its price is suppose 128.95. And the third one is monitor, and amount is 579.34 suppose. Okay, so this one is a dictionary of product. Now I'll remove this as well. What do I want to do? I want to access here. I want to access here first product 1 name and product 1 price. Similarly, product 2 price, right? And this time I don't want to print 3 times. I just want to print 1 time. Okay, so what I will do is that I will use for loop. So for this time I would say key is name. Okay, and then value is price in product. And since we are using both key and value, that is name and price, I'll say items, so that we can iterate over items. And then I want to print. What do I want to print? I want to print the same thing, right? I want to print the same thing. But here it would be name, and this would be price. And I don't need this anymore. See, our code is more efficient. I don't need to write print 3 times. What will happen is that I told you this loop will run till the whole item is exhausted. So how many items do we have? 1, 2, 3. So this loop will run for 3 times. For the first time, the name and price will store these. Then in the second time, name and price will store these. In the third time, name and price will store these. And they will eventually come here, and that will be printed. And since it is happening 3 times, so this will run 3 times. Let's see what will happen here. Oops, something is wrong. Okay, this total is not defined. Let's remove this for now. Okay, is there anything else not defined here? Yeah, that is all. There you go. You see, it's similar to what we did last time. See, this is us when we use 3-time print statement, but now we used it only one time. See, we use it only one time, but we iterate it over the product item, and since these are three, so it ran for 3 times, and eventually this key and value is stored their respective values, and they printed it here. So that's the advantage of the for loop. Okay, let's clear the terminal for now. Okay, so the for loop is, I hope, will be clear. If not, just try again. Let's do it again. Can we use it somewhere else? For now, I don't think so. So what we did, can we use here? See, again, we are doing the same thing. The only thing that is changing is this one, right? Only this one is changing. Otherwise, we are doing the print 3 times. And here, the only thing that is changing is the value. Like here, company name, company address, and company city. But here we don't use dictionary because there is no key value. Rather, it's a list. So if there is a list about, so suppose there is a list called, suppose it says company, okay, and all the list is always put in a square bracket. So the first one is company name, right? The first one is company name, okay. Since I have already defined the declared the variable, that's why I'm directly using the variable. The second one is company address, and the third one is company city. Oops. So what I have done is that I created a list or an array, and that's how I stored it. And now I want to loop over this list as I told you here. See, for item in fruits, print item. So what it will do is that it will print item 3 times, and each time the item will have different value. First time the item will have apple, second time item will have banana, and third time it will have mango. So if I run this, see, apple, banana, and mango. So why not use the same thing? If I directly go here, remove this, and say for right now, say company detail, in company, right? I want to print. What do I want to print? I want to print company detail. So let's clear this and run it. There you go. See, the first detail is company name, the second detail is company address, and the third detail is company city. So we further reduce the number of print statement using the for loop, and for that we define an array called company, and we stored all the company details herein, and then we run the for loop. How about we format it further? So to format it further, what we can do is that either we can apply formatting here, just for the company name. As I told you, for any variable, if I wanna apply the formatting, I can directly start with period and then it give you option. So I wanna do the title. So whatever would be the company name, it always first go through the title so that it will have uppercase. Company address, same thing, title, okay, and then there you go. See, coding temple incorporation, all uppercase. The first word is uppercase, similar here. And I don't need for the company city as I told you. Now, what is the advantage of variable? Again, if I change the value here, suppose I say Facebook incorporation. If I say Facebook incorporation, there you go. See, here it says Facebook incorporation. That's the advantage of the variable. I don't need to change now everywhere. I define it one and initialize it with the one value. I just now need to change the value here and dynamically it will change everywhere wherever it is being used, wherever this variable has been used. Suppose here message, thanks for shopping with us today. Instead of us, I would say thanks for shopping with company name. I wanna say I'll use the placeholder. Can I use the placeholder? If I wanna use the placeholder, I have to write format and I have to give the value for this placeholder. So I'll say company name and see what will appear here. There you go. Thanks for shopping with Facebook incorporation today. And I'll say again title so that it will keep the formatting. See, thanks for shopping with Facebook incorporation today. So if I change and say again back to the coding temple incorporation, it will do the same thing and everywhere it will change. Here coding temple. That's the best part about variable. Amazing. So we use the for loop to further decrease the number of print statements we are writing. And this one, what we can do is that we want all these three at a certain distance from left. We want the spaces and this should be in a one line. So what we can do here, right? Let's apply formatting. So again, formatting is like this. Go for the placeholder and in the placeholder, we want company detail. And here, I want all of them at a distance of from the left side, say 20. Sorry, it should be this one. No. Oops. See, I always get confused. Either I do this or either I always get confused with this. So that's why I prefer to use, let's say 30 big amount. It doesn't change. That's why I prefer to use tab, suppose 2 tabs. And there you go. It worked. Okay. Is it similar? It is. Now, so we solved this problem as well. Okay. Can we further reduce this print header borderline, section borderline? Print the header, product name, product price. There's nothing to change over here. Okay. The next agenda is that we need to calculate the total, right? And the total last time what we did is that we added all the price, all this price. But this time, how would we get all this amount? So let's jump to the, I'll remove all of this. Suppose this is our product and I want to get all the prices only. So to get that, I told you we will use for, say, value in product, and I will say values, okay, colon, and I'll print value. And you will see that all the value would be printed. See, all the value has been printed. But I want to add all of them. How about if I just print, how about I just print product dot values? What will it give me? So let's clear it and see. There you go. It gave me a array. Do you see that? An array. So it gave me an array, a list of all the prices, 49.95, comma 128.95, and then comma 579.34. So it gave me a list. So there is a concept called sum. So this function is does what? So you see, if you go through the definition, what does it do is that the sum function, is sum function return the sum of a start value. So there would be a start value plus an iterable of number. So whatever is coming after it. So definitely is taking the use of what? An array. So if I just give the list 1, 1, 1, okay, and I want to print this. So I want to print this, so I'll take it into a print function. Okay, let's see what it does. It gives me 3. So basically it sum up all the number in this array. That is the advantage of the sum. So somehow if we can get here all the values, like that is prices, then we apply the sum function and then we can print it. Okay, what do I mean by that? So suppose price array. Okay, I'll call all the prices, and to get the array, I'll say product dot value like this. Again, I'll print price array. As I told you, it will give me a, see, an array of all the prices, and I want the sum of prices. That would be like sum function. I declare a variable that is called sum of prices, and then I'll use sum, and here to get the array I'd say product dot values. Okay, and let's print sum of prices. Let me clear here. See, we got the total amount. And to put it in a formatting, I'll do the same thing. This one, and then format. And here I'll put sum of prices. And I want till 2 decimal. So dot 2f. That's how we put formatting, and there you go. It is still 24. If I increase here 2, increase here 1, see, again it is 24. If I remove this, then the answer would be in a 3, see, more than 3, 99999. So I want only till 2 decimal places on right, so 2f. So that's how we get the sum. And I want to add the dollar sign. There you go. So now it will show me dollar sign. I want a spacing. I'll put a spacing. I'll get the spacing. There you go. So that's the biggest advantage of dictionary. And how can we use the for loop to get the key and values from that dictionary, and how can we access all the values in the form of an array, and we can use a function called sum that basically takes in the array and it starts adding them. Whatever consisted in that array, it would be sum up and a one value would be presented, and that's how we get the total value. Let's apply the same thing here. So where did we get the total? Here. So what we will do is that first I'll declare the variable total price, okay, and to get the array of all the prices, I'll say products dot value. So this is store all the prices, and since this price total price is an array, right, I can use the sum. So I'll declare the total price array, so that it would make sense. And I need total price, so total price, and that would be sum of total price array, and then I'm gonna print the total price. So print total price, but I want it in a certain format, so that's why I'll start with first curly braces. I want till 2 decimal points, and then dot format, I'll put the value in it, so that is total price. I'll clear the terminal, and let's check the receipt again. Oh, okay, we got the sum, but we missed something. We did not write total. No worries, let's write it down. I'll say total, and then space, and this is for this total. Let's apply the formatting. So again, I'll use the curly braces for that, and here we can use the same spacing that is being used here. Okay, so that is first tab, then column, and then a spacing of 20, and then here we will have this one, and here we will have a spacing of 10. Let's see if it looks same. Yep, it looks same. Thumbs up. So let's check our code again. I'll remove this, no more needed. So first we clear the terminal so that every time we don't need to see our previous output. Then we declare the variable. I'll remove this, doesn't make sense. So we declare company name and we initialize it with the information given in the receipt here, then company address, company city, and then we declare a variable called product that is basically a dictionary. and we initialize it with all the entries in a key value pair. Okay, that's done. Then we also we also keep these company detail in a list format. Okay, and we also make sure that each time company name and company address is printed, it will have uppercase first word. Okay, it should be in a title format. And then we also declare these two variables, first for borderline that's on the top header, and then the section borderline. And then at the end, we also declare a variable called message that will give us the last message. But we would like to add the company name here, so we use again this curly braces placeholder concept with the format function. Now then we printed the header borderline, and then we created company info section where we use the for loop, right? And since this company is a list, or I would say an array, we use for loop, and we stored all this info in a company detail variable, and we printed it using print statement. Since it's a for loop and there are 3 entries in this list, it ran for 3 times, and it is stored company name, company address, and company city. Amazing. The next one is section borderline, and then we went for the headers of the receipt table. I told you how to go for the string formatting we use, and we already learned about that. And then to print the entries of the receipt, again, we learned how to use for loop in the dictionary, and especially we learned how to use key and value and using items function to access key value and then print it. Again, section borderline, and then we learned the concept of sum function. The sum function only takes array, and the array is containing all the prices. To access that, since we already defined product in a dictionary format, that gives us an advantage. To access all the product prices, we use dot value function. And then finally, we printed it in a format the way we wanted. And at the end, we again have a section borderline and then the message, and we ended it with the bottom borderline. That's a nice looking code, and we achieved the same result again that we did in the last video, but this time we refactored the code, we reduced the number of print statements, and we used new techniques, and we worked on our fundamentals of data structure and for loop. I hope you liked it till now, but there is always an scope of enhancing this program. And what I would like to do is that I want you to think, how can we further enhance this program? Give me in the comment section what can we do better to make this whole code look more effective, more readable, with less number of repetitive coding, right? So for now, bye bye, and I'll see you soon. Hit the bell icon, subscribe if you like it, and